Oh, there we are. We're on. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show. So, this is a live stream that I've been doing. I guess we're going to do this bi weekly. Sorry, I got something here on my face, and I had to get my water. That's why it took so long to get here. Anyways, we're here to do my favorite rock guitarists, and I have a stack here that probably exceeds 30 albums at least, just in case I didn't make that clear. Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to talk about some of these rock guitars and what makes them special and why I like them so much and why others I don't care for as much. There's a whole bunch that I don't have here that I put on the list as well. I don't follow their music really, and that's part of the reason why they're not usually on my favorite list. But you got to give them credit where credit is due, right? So we'll talk about the ones I have first. And these aren't in any particular order, so it's not like I'm not ranking them or anything. I'm just talking about them. So the first one is going to be from the Scorpions. This is my 3-album classic box set featuring In Trance, Virgin Killer, and Taken by Force. Of course, the main guitar player here is Uli John Roth, who I think is an outstanding guitar player. Owning these 3 albums has really put him on the focus for me. Of course, Rudolf Schenker, really good music writer and riff writer too. Riff writing is very important. You can be the greatest guitar player in the world, but if you can't write anything that kind of catchy, it's difficult to follow you. But those are my first 2. I bought this a couple of years ago and been working my way through the discography here. I'm almost done on the last one now, and got some other Scorpion stuff since then. But yeah, I like Uli John Roth quite a bit. He's got a distinct style that makes him fantastic. So that's my first guy. I'm just gonna move these guys over here so they're out of my way, but not too far over that they fall over or anything. Okay. Next up is we're going to stick with the metal flavor for the first bit here. The next one up, of course, is the Twin Killers here of K.K. Downing and Glenn Tippett. I personally think Glenn Tippett is the better of the 2 on the lead parts. Again, another band with some great riffing. Maybe not so much on this album, but I would just grab one off of the stack to represent them. I just think that Glenn Tipton, fantastic guitar player. KK is good too. Some people would say he's as good. I don't feel that way. I think that Glenn is the better of the 2, maybe the better music writer too. So that's my my talk on the 2 Judas Priest guitar players. And of course, we're going to talk about the 3 guitarists here on Iron Maiden. I always have been a big fan of Adrian Smith. I think he's a great guitar player. I think he's best, though, when he's a member of Iron Maiden. And Dave Murray, really, really good, too. You know, he's been a staple for this band since almost the beginning. I think he was on the first album. Really good. And then, of course, is it Jers? Is it Jers? No, it's Faulkner. Sorry, I was thinking of Judas Priest. Faulkner, another decent guitar player. I can see why they didn't want to force him out of the band when Adrian Smith came back. I mean, he's been loyal to them, so you want to keep with him. Although having 3 guitarists is kind of weird, but anyways, April Wine did it, so I guess they can do it too. Next up, of course, one of the great, if not the best guitar player to ever live, Jimi Hendrix. Definitely one of the most unique styles in rock history. Able to create noise from a guitar that nobody else could before all wah-wah pedals and all that kind of stuff were fashionable. He was doing this stuff with just his own abilities, right? Also underrated for him, though, I think, is the riffing. He's really good riff master. I mean, you think of songs like Purple Haze and where is it here? Foxy Lady. These are really good really good riffs that people are catchy as hell. Hey Joe's good too. Watch Along the Watchtower, some great stuff, but obviously known primarily for his lead ability, his ability to make noise from the guitar that nobody else was doing. Really innovative, really creative. Definitely a pioneer and ahead of his time in a lot of ways. Jimi Hendrix, from that Jimi Hendrix Experience. Next up, this guy doesn't get any talk about. Most people won't even probably know who he is, but I like this guy a lot, and I think he's much better than he gets credit for. Doesn't get credit for anything, really. Nobody even knows he exists, but the more I listen to this stuff, the better I think this guy is. I'm just going to pull out this little kind of brochure thing that I have here. So they only have the 4 albums. There they are. All 4 of them. Fruip is the name of the band. And yeah, just really classic guitar sound. He just really rips. I'm trying to find his name. Oh yeah, Vincent McCusker. I actually wanted to call him Jason, but I knew it wasn't Jason. I knew I was wrong. Vincent McCusker. Just absolutely killing abilities on the guitar. I really think that's the big thing with this band. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to be more kind of like maybe Green Slade or Ninderod or something like that. But this guy, he's a home run hitting guitar player. Just really solid lead stuff. Next up, Pete Townshend. Not so great on the lead parts. Not bad though. Decent enough. But known primarily for his aggressive riff playing and guitar noises and just stage presence, but still a very good guitar player, producing some of my favorite riffs. And the album I chose highlights him at his best. Next up, Mick Box. Mick Box of Uriah Heep. I could have pulled out any album. I just thought I would try this one today. He's quite a heavy guitar player, heavier than I probably gave him credit for, but not I wouldn't say he's a fantastic riff master, but puts together songs that are kind of a little on the catchy side and lots of guitar riffing, lots of guitar soloing, which I like quite a bit from this band. Uriah Heep, pretty heavy, almost a heavy metal sound at times. Next up, John Sykes. I chose this album with John on it only because I have something else from some of the other albums that he was on. Really tastefully done electric kind of metal sound to his guitar. Solos are fantastic. Very frontal type guy. I think he's one of the greatest metal guitar players I've ever heard. I like him quite a bit, and he's got that style too, Next up, this guy is a legend. Arguably, to me, he's one of the top 5 greatest guitar players ever to be. I don't listen to this style of music much, but when I did, I loved his guitar sound. Stevie Ray Vaughan didn't last long enough to really, to my satisfaction. I wish he'd lived forever. He's just so good, such a good guitar player, and he's got that bluesy sound down, but it's that the lead stuff is just absolutely killer, man. This guy's as good as anybody out there. Okay, let's move those over a bit, make room for Eddie Van Halen, or Edward Van Halen, as some people like to call him. He is, without a doubt, one of the most innovative guitarists of all time. Definitely that time period where he was at his best. Few were better, if anybody, at that time. Great riff master for sure. Some fantastic lead stuff. Outstanding distortion on his guitar as well. The only thing that I kind of found disappointing is as they went along, he started adding too much keyboards to the music. I think took away from his guitar ability. So Eddie Van Halen got to be mentioned here with among the best guitar players of all time. Triumphs, Rick Emmett, very underrated, doesn't get mentioned enough. I know he won guitarist of the year one year. I can't remember what year it was, but he's fantastic. Not only can he play the riffing stuff really well, the lead parts are incredible, and he has an amazing vocal style as well. So it has to be mentioned in here. Rick Emmett. I like he's one of those electric guitar players whose acoustic stuff I think is just as good. Usually, for me, most guitarists either fall into the more acoustic flavor of guitar that I like, or they're more electric. He can do both. He's one of the few that can do both that I enjoy quite a bit. Now we're going to jump to Thin Lizzy. I chose this album because I wanted to talk about Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham, who I think are one of the great guitar combos of all time. Yes, they had Gary Moore in this band. You could mention him too. He's fantastic. Or John Sykes, who also played in this band. But to me, that combo of Robo and Scott Gorham were uniquely suited to this music. And most of my favorite stuff is from that time period with the two of them in the band. And we got another duet here, J.Y. and Tommy Shaw. They really complement each other. J.Y. is more the heavy guitar riffing, hard rock type guy, where I think Tommy is more the acoustic guy. But Tommy can play some very good lead guitar too. And he plays the mandolin. Vocally is among the best as well. Both these guys complement each other well. I enjoy both their styles quite a bit. Next up, one of my favorite, Alex Lifeson. Same kind of situation as Rick Emmett. Exceptionally good on the electric stuff and almost exceptionally good on the acoustic stuff too, and very, very inventive. To me, he's one of the most inventive guitar riffers and sounds. He brings out different sounds in the guitar. It really gives Rush that unique electric guitar sound that I don't think anybody else quite has. And they once asked Eddie Van Halen, who's the greatest what's it like being the greatest guitar player? He says, why do you ask Alex Lifeson? He would know better than me. It's a compliment, obviously, but I love Alex Lifeson. He's very inventive, and to me, it's kind of the backbone of Rush. He doesn't get as much credit as he probably should because he's in a band with two other terrific musicians. This album kind of changed my opinion about this one particular guitar player. So people always talk about Keith Richards' guitar riffing ability, but Brian Jones was exceptional. And this album really outstanding. His acoustic stuff, his electric stuff, really good. To me, he doesn't get enough of the notoriety as being a great guitar player. And he was a bit of a head case. I'll accept that, but his guitar playing ability was really good. To me, if you were to take these are all five good musicians, but he's exceptional. I think he's the exceptional one in the band as far as instrumentation goes. Next up, David Gilmour. Maybe not the fastest guitar player or the greatest rifter or the greatest soloer of all time, but one of the most emotional guitar players of all time. He creates a sound that nobody else creates. He's a very unique guitar player that way. When I hear a solo on the radio, I know it's him almost immediately. He's so drags you right into the music with his guitar, and his guitar solo on Time is timeless, to say the least. Next up, we have the late Randy Rhoads. wasn't around for very long, but made a huge impact in a short period on only a couple of albums. I actually prefer the live EP they put out. I think it came out right around the time of this album, or just after the time of this album. But the Mr. Crowley live on that is as good as any guitar solo I've ever heard. Fantastic. And he had some acoustic abilities too. Not talked about much. They weren't fantastic, but they were good. And I think he was one of those guys that was right around that time that Eddie Van Halen came out too, and they were both doing that kind of tapping sound, which was really kind of revolutionary. I'm not saying that they were the first to do it, but they definitely pioneered it a lot. Next up is this guy with his craziness, Ted Nugent. Maybe not technically the best guitar player of all time, but real catchy riffs and really good soloing. This is, to me, a metal album. Some people would say he's just hard rock, but I think of him as metal. I do. Ted Nugent. Next up, of course, Jimmy Page. You can't have a list like this without Jimmy Page being on there. Maybe Jimmy Page is overrated. I don't think that it's a case of being overrated, though. I think it's a case of being over-talked about. Everybody talks about him. He was a virtuoso in very many ways, a riff master. Some of the greatest riffs are in this band, and he's the guy who put them together. And he's a great music writer, too. So Jimmy Page has to be on this list. Next up, my favorite guitar player, still my favorite guitar player. Up until 4.5 years ago, I thought he was easily the best, but I've changed my title on that quite a bit because there's been a lot of guitar players that I've been exposed to a lot. I still think he's my favorite, Steve Howe. Maybe he's not the best in the world now, in my opinion. He might not be, but for the style of music he plays, a lot of people get on him because they see his tone is not very strong. But I don't think of him as that type of guitar player. To me, he's an acoustic guitar master, and he plays those subtle noises that a lot of other guitar players don't do. And you can see he's easily influenced by a lot of those guys that came out prior to rock music, really. Very classical style, but I hear a little Chet Lemon in there too, right? Chet Lemon, sorry. We're not talking baseball. Chet Atkins, sorry. Next up is another guy who didn't really get, while he was with his big band, he never really got noticed because they turned down him very much so. But he breaks out on this album, and from this album forward, we really get to see what he's really capable of. And I think he may be definitely one of the most underrated guitar players of all time. And he may be in the top 5 of all time, too, in my opinion. This song, Shadow of the Hierophant, absolutely incredible. This song should have been a Genesis song. And if they let him play it the way he played it here, it would be a fantastic one. So Steve Hackett. Next up, Martin Barre. Great live guy. You don't really, he's good on the albums too. You hear it on the albums when they're doing it, but he really comes to the forefront live. Everything I've seen by him live is amazing. Just amazing guitar player. Doesn't get nearly the credit he should get. Playing in a band like this, overshadowed by a flute player of extraordinary ability, some really good bass and drumming. Maybe not so much on this album, but some of their later stuff. But to me, he's the outstanding guy in this band as far as talent, musical talent goes. Doesn't get enough credit for what he's good at. And can play just, the lead stuff is amazing. Speaking of amazing lead stuff, Deep Purple, Ritchie Blackmore. I would venture to say when it comes to the lead part, few people are as good at it as he is. I'm hard-pressed to put anybody ahead of him. There's guys out there who are fantastic lead guys, but I think he's as good as anybody. Jimmy Page once said, I can't touch him on his lead stuff. Jimmy Page, a great guitar player, but I really think Ritchie Blackmore, with his classical training and stuff, is just head and tails above most people in the lead part. And he's quite good at the riffing stuff too. I think he's pretty good. But whenever I think of Ritchie Blackmore, I think of that lead guitar stuff. Speaking of lead guitar stuff, Chicago's own Terry Kath. This is a guy I discovered since I've been doing this channel, and I'm just blown away by how good this guy is. I've obviously heard for years how good he was, and I'd listen to stuff on the radio. I didn't really pay attention to it much until I started getting into following different bands, and this was one of them that was recommended. So I started following him, and the first thing I discovered almost immediately was how good this guy is on guitar. He can riff with the best of them, but his jumbly type guitar soloing is just absolutely incredible. There's very few people are as fast as he is. Terry Kath, gotta like him. Next up, Randy Bachman. Now you could throw Blair Thornton in here. I think Blair is a good guitar player. Maybe on some bands he might be their best guitar player. But Randy Bachman is in a special league. There's three things about Randy Bachman I really like. First of all, he's great at writing songs. The songs he puts out are catchy as hell, and he's good at making those guitar riffs. He can play that really heavy stuff, or he can play it softer. His soloing is fantastic, and his blues and jazzy elements are really good as well. And he's creative, even though he has a lot of these stuff is kind of formula oriented. There's a lot of stuff like Looking Out for Number One, Blue Collar Man. These are all, Blue Collar, not Blue Collar Man. These songs are all really well done. There's a blues element to it and a jazz feel to his music. It's really exceptional. Next up, we got Aerosmith. There we are. Joe Perry. Is it Brad? Is it Brad? Or is it? I think it's Brad. Brad Whiteman. I don't remember that guy's name for some reason. Looking forward here. Oh, here is Brad Whiteford. Okay. Brad Whitford. Sorry. Losing my mind. Now, Brad is a good guitar player because Aerosmith, the thing that stands out for me with Aerosmith is the riffing. The riffing is what makes Aerosmith special. And I think Brad Whitford is the main guy on that. So you got to give him full credit for that. I do like Joe Perry's soloing. I think it suits this band quite well. But when I think of Aerosmith, it's always those riffs that I remember. Next up, these guys may be the riffed masters, the best riffed combo of any combo out there, the Young Brothers here. And Angus is not a bad lead guitar. I don't really think of, when I think of AC/DC, I don't really think about the lead stuff so much as I do the riffing. And that is Malcolm Young. Malcolm Young, fantastic. So many songs that, so many catchy riffs. You just can't you got to turn it up when you're listening to them. So I had to throw them in. They may not be the most talented instrumentally wise, but they definitely know how to produce a riff. Next up, Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath. This guy, fantastic. So much good riffs, heavy, beefy, masculine riffs. The whole band is like that, but he's the main guy and wrote a lot of that really catchy stuff, right? War Pigs and After Forever and, Supernaut, all just absolutely incredible kind of riffing. And his solo stuff is good too. Like his solo stuff's pretty good. I like some of the stuff he did later with Ronnie James Dio as well. This guy doesn't get enough attention. Should get more. Buck Dharma. Yeah. Some really strong stuff. This particular album's a little bit heavier than the other albums too, and I think that suits them too. Donald Buck Dharma Rozier, a really good guitar player, underrated, doesn't get the attention he deserves, overshadowed by other people in the same kind of field as them, but definitely, to me, one of the great guitar players of all time. You got Tom Schultz here. Not just a great music writer and producer, but also can play those iconic guitar riffs. They're so catchy, more than a feeling. And some of the electric soloing is fantastic. And the clear sound of the album is fantastic. When this came out, nobody really quite sounded like this. Next up, the late Mick Ronson, David Bowie, underrated guitar player, kind of the face of this album, really. Ziggy Stardust, even though David Bowie was the frontal man that did that, but this was about a guitar player, and Mick Ronson was the guy, and just a fantastic lead guitar player, really, really catchy stuff. Very underrated, doesn't get enough attention. They never talk about him, but he deserves it. And probably one of my favorite guys who, again, doesn't get as much attention as some of them, but this guy is a real player. Talking about Andy Latimer here. Great stuff. And currently I'm listening to Mirage, which has some to die for type of guitar soloing and riffing, and this guy can do it all. He tends to be more like Steve Howe in that he's more of a quiet guitar player, but just because somebody's quiet doesn't mean they're any less talented. So those are all the ones that I pulled off the shelf. There's quite a bit of them. There's like 30 of them or something. But people like Allan Holdsworth, who I don't have anything from, who I think maybe, God, the guy might be right. He's right there as one of the best of all time. Same with Jeff Beck, another fantastic guitar player. I don't really listen to Jeff Beck music. He's not really my style of music, but you got to appreciate his ability. Frank Zappa, another guy like that, who I don't really follow his music much, but I don't know how you can't think of him as a fantastic guitar player. Elvin Lee is another guy, never gets talked about, but he's right up there amongst the very best as well. These are all fantastic guitar players. I didn't bring up Vivian Campbell. I've never been a huge Vivian Campbell fan, but I can see why people like his music a lot, And of course, there's many more that I haven't said anything about, which I could, and I'm have to leave something for you guys to add to it, right? Anyways, that's my list of guitar players that I like a lot, or I think are great, or both. And I wanted to do a little bit of that because I've been following a lot of these guys have just come on in the last couple of years. So definitely worth talking about them. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to add to the guitar list, you can do that, the guitar player list. Make some comments about whoever you want to bring, or if you want to add something about somebody I've already said, you can do that as well. Anyways, hope to see you all a couple weeks from now when we do another one of these rock topics. Sorry. Maybe next time we might do, I think we might do a year next time. So anyways, take care. Have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.